Dawg Pound. A massive fracture in the foundation of this franchise is widening, and the silence from our biggest star is becoming deafening. We are staring at a situation that defies logic, with whispers of a departure that could reshape the future of the Browns for the next decade. Shout out to all our dedicated fans tuning in from Cleveland. Why would a team restructure a contract only to leave their franchise leader completely isolated from the new coaching staff? The clock is ticking toward a critical deadline that could change everything we know about this roster. Hit that like button if you want Myles Garrett to stay, and subscribe to keep up with this unfolding drama as we break down exactly why this matters. At the center of this growing storm is the future of Myles Garrett and his increasingly mysterious status with the organization. This uncertainty isn't just about missing voluntary OTAs. It is about the cold trail of communication between the league's most dominant pass rusher and the new regime. After the team moved on from the previous staff, Garrett made his preferences clear. Yet the franchise chose a different direction under Todd Monken. The subsequent social media behavior, followed by a total withdrawal from team activities, has left fans wondering if we are witnessing the final days of an era. While he has been busy supporting Chloe Kim in Milan and cheering on the Cavaliers, the lack of face-to-face contact with Coach Monken and new defensive coordinator Mike Rutenberg is alarming. We are seeing a superstar who was once the heartbeat of the defense now drifting into a state of professional detachment. This isn't just a simple case of skipping workouts for personal training. It feels like a fundamental breakdown in alignment between the player's championship ambitions and the team's current trajectory. The silence is loud, and as we approach the month of June, the questions surrounding his commitment are no longer just rumors. They are becoming the primary narrative of our offseason. The front office is doing its best to project stability, but the optics tell a different story. Fans are rightly concerned because Myles Garrett is not just another player. He is the identity of this defense. When the face of the franchise stops engaging with the new coaching leadership, the ripple effects are felt in every locker room corner. The Dawg Pound deserves to know if their leader is planning to return or if he is simply waiting for an exit door to open wide enough to walk through, leaving behind a legacy that now seems incredibly fragile. The reason this situation is so volatile boils down to a specific, unexplained financial maneuver executed by General Manager Andrew Berry. Back in March, the front office reworked the contract of Myles Garrett, a move that provided zero immediate salary cap relief, but fundamentally altered the team's ability to trade him after June 1st. Despite the insistence from the front office that this move had nothing to do with a potential departure, the math tells a different story. If the Browns had no intention of keeping their options open, why move the option bonus in such a specific way? This is the core of the drama that has fans holding their breath. By adjusting the terms, the team effectively cleared the hurdles necessary to execute a major trade without facing a catastrophic cap penalty. It is a calculated move that has opened a door that many believe was supposed to stay firmly shut. Now, we are entering the window where these theoretical maneuvers could become reality. If a trade were to happen, it could be finalized as early as this coming Monday. The reality is that the Browns failed to address Garrett's public demand for a franchise quarterback, and that failure acts as a ticking time bomb. When a player of his caliber feels his window for a championship is closing, the relationship with the team inevitably suffers. We are no longer talking about voluntary absences. We are talking about a scenario where both sides might have reached an impasse. If the organization isn't providing the tools he needs to chase a ring, can we really blame him for looking elsewhere? The front office has maintained a facade of confidence, but the lack of contact suggests that they are preparing for a future that might not include their star defender, creating a massive void that no single draft pick could ever truly fill. Why this really matters for the future of the Browns cannot be overstated. This is not just a disagreement over a coaching hire or a missed OTA session. This is about the long-term viability of the franchise's championship window. If the team decides to move on, they are essentially hitting a reset button that could set the organization back by years. A talent like Myles Garrett is a generational gift, and losing him would shift the entire competitive balance of the AFC. We are looking at a scenario where the defense goes from a top-tier unit to a group that has to completely redefine its identity without its cornerstone. This impacts every aspect of the season, from defensive game planning to the morale of the entire locker room. When the leader of a team is surrounded by trade rumors, it creates a distraction that can derail a campaign before it even starts. Fans need to understand that the implications of this potential move extend deep into the playoffs and Super Bowl aspirations. If we lose him, we are not just losing a player. We are losing the very foundation that has made this team feared by opponents. The impact on the divisional race would be immediate, as other teams would jump at the chance to exploit a Browns defense that has lost its anchor. This is a defining moment for Andrew Berry. He has built a young, promising roster, but without its leader, that promise feels hollow. The future of this franchise is currently hanging by a thread, and every passing day that Myles Garrett remains absent only strengthens the argument that a massive change is on the horizon. This isn't just about football, it's about the soul of the organization and the path they choose for the next 3 seasons. If the organization does decide to pull the trigger on a trade, the compensation would have to be absolutely massive to justify such a blow to the roster. Looking at the precedent set by the Micah Parsons deal, we should expect nothing less than multiple first-round picks and high-level starters. The Browns are in a position where they cannot afford to settle for anything less than a package that guarantees long-term reconstruction. By waiting until after June 1st to move him, the team could potentially target picks in the 2027 and 2028 drafts, which are projected to be significantly deeper than the 2026 class. This long-term planning suggests that if they do trade him, they are playing the long game to ensure they don't collapse entirely. However, the complexity of trading within the AFC makes this even more unlikely, as the front office would be terrified of facing their former star twice a year. Teams like the Los Angeles Rams, who are known for their aggressive, championship or bust approach, would be the most logical partners in this high-stakes game. They have the draft capital and the motivation to push for one more Super Bowl run with Matthew Stafford, and adding a player like Myles Garrett would instantly make them a title favorite. For us as fans, this is a nightmare scenario to consider, but it is the reality we have to face until he shows up in Berea. The mandatory veteran minicamp starting on June 9th is the final line in the sand. If he is not in that building by the start of those sessions, we will know for certain that the end is near. The drama is peaking, and the city of Cleveland is waiting for a signal that he is still part of the plan. The silence from Myles Garrett is now the loudest thing in Cleveland. We are at a crossroads where the team must either reconcile with their superstar or prepare for a monumental shift in their competitive identity. As we approach the mandatory minicamp, every report out of Berea will be scrutinized for a sign that he is coming home to join the new staff. If he remains absent, the front office will have no choice but to address the rumors with absolute transparency. This saga is defining the current state of our beloved Browns, and the resolution will determine our success for years to come. I want to hear from you, the true fans of this franchise. With the June 9th deadline fast approaching, do you honestly believe we will see Myles Garrett back in a Browns uniform for the start of training camp? Or is it already time to accept that he is on his way out? Drop your predictions in the comments below. I read every single one of them. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay locked in as this situation develops. We will be here to cover every turn in this story.